All right. So within this book lies one of the answers you're looking for on being productive. And I'll tell you what it is in just a little bit. Because first off, I want to ask the question, have you ever felt like you're expending a lot of effort, but not getting much done? And you're just sitting in front of the computer hour after hour, day after day. In this video, I specifically want to cover not only this, but some of the methods that the best engineers use to maximize their productivity. Now, if you are a hard worker yourself and you don't always accomplish as much as you want, and you want help getting over that feeling of lost or wondering how to get your mojo back, then I will make sure I help you in this video maximize your productivity. But ultimately, if you want personal help, that's why I created the Coding Career Fast Lane. If you have questions on that, reach out down below. It's all about accelerating your career wherever you're at in the process. Let's jump into today's content. First and foremost, all right, time management is one of the absolute most necessary keys you need to get to maximize the most productivity in your life. The reason I say this is people all the time neglect their time and they wonder why they're spinning in circles or why they're doing the same task over and over. Or, maybe they're just getting distracted really easily. And before you know it, oh, there's ESPN.com and oh, there's my coworkers and oh, look what time it is. And there just never seems to be enough time in the day. And it's okay. It happens sometimes. But if you had time management processes in place, you could minimize that and increase your productivity tenfold almost instantly. Time management is all about you managing the distractions in your life and managing the time you focus on stuff. And there's one time management technique I love to teach in the beginning to help people out. Now, there's various amounts of them. I've tried a ton of them out. I am all about them. I love them because you ebb and flow through them all the time. But the one I want to start with first is the Pomodoro technique. I learned this from my mentor, John Sonmez, a while ago. And some of you probably have seen his video on how to use the Kanban flow to use this as a time management technique. Now, what is Pomodoro technique? The idea is this. It's pretty straightforward. 25 minutes of work, 5 minutes of break. So over the course of an hour, you should be doing 50 minutes of concentrated, focused work and 10 minutes of a break. Now, you can take the liberty of doing back-to-back Pomodoros where you do the 50 minutes and a 10-minute break, or you can stick to the 25 and 5. But when you're in this 25-minute block of working, it is dedicated, focused work to where you don't look at email, you don't look at text messages, social media, ESPN, any of these sites at all. You are focused and you eliminate outside distractions. Now, one of the things that you should shoot for with this is around 10 to 12 Pomodoros a day. Now, why do I say this? This is a really good number. I do believe in my previous video, I told a story about why when I started shooting over 12, and I actually was shooting for 16 to 20 a day, which when you break it down, doesn't seem like anything crazy. But focused work, it's a ton. And I actually got burnt out really easily doing 16 to 20. And I found a sweet spot was around 10 to 12 a day Pomodoros. So not only can we track our time, but we'll know where it's going and know where we're completing our Pomodoros on, or know what we're not completing our Pomodoros on. That's one of the key aspects of time management is you can track and limit and know how much time you're spending on specific tasks, or matter of fact, where your time is going in general. Point number one, time management. Now, in the actual items at the very end of this video, we're going to come right back to time management. So stick with me and hear me to the end about what you can do about this. Second piece, to increase your productivity. Now, this one sometimes feels like a cop-out to people because it's like, health? What do you mean health? Like, how does my health increase my personal productivity? I'm going to tell you 3 ways. And the first is exercise. It is absolutely key to get your blood pumping or get your heart pumping and get the blood flowing throughout your body if you want to keep this in a productive mindset. Second is sleep. I did a video on this recently on sleep on how you need 7 to 9 hours, and that's what the national, I can't think off the top of my head, the study says adults need 7 to 9 hours. And we know from that video that Your REM sleep comes at the end of sleep, and that is when your brain is helping with memory, storing stuff away, and it is actively going through these memories for you to help you regurgitate memory and thoughts the next day. And so if we cut off sleep, we're losing those extra hours where your brain is working on what you just learned the day before. So not only is it going to help you be productive, it's going to help you remember things when you're trying to be productive. So sleep is very important. And last but not least, in the health area, to be personally productive is your diet. What are you eating, right? You come back from lunch all the time feeling like, I'm tired. Oh, that was a heavy lunch. Like, I just want to take a nap. But we know you can't. But that's what you feel like. And it happens to a lot of people. Why? Because they go eat a carb-heavy lunch. Lots of sugars, fries, potatoes, bread, muffins, you name it, you're eating it. And it's probably slowing you down. So if you want to be more productive, make sure you're paying attention to your diet, how much sleep you're getting, and at least doing 3 1-hour exercises a week. And I found the middle ground on an exercise perspective. But those are 3 things within health. You do that, you're going to give yourself a really good ability to be more productive in your life. Now, third piece here, direction. This is one where it's not always, I feel like I had to say this one more explicitly because sometimes people don't even think about this. They just go do work before they have direction. And what I mean by this is you get given, go create a component that alerts people, and you go create a component, but you just did it based off what you thought in your head. You didn't have the specs, the testing docs, the design docs. You didn't have any of the things you needed to physically get the work done right. You didn't have the proper direction. And so you just kind of start doing it. And what happens when people get put on tasks like that is they'll get partway, go through it and go, oh, I don't know if that's right. Let me go ask them. And maybe that person's not there. And so they wander around and go get some water, talk to some friends, come back, see the person's not there. They'll sit down, they'll work on a little bit. Basically, what I'm getting at here is without direction, the work won't get done as fast because you don't know how to get to the finish line. The finish line is constantly moving on you. Not only is it moving in this instance, but maybe you come back to that person and what you did already is not what they wanted. So now you have to go back to the start and start all over again or go in a different direction. And that finish line always moving is hindering you in your productivity. It's much better to know the direction of where you're going. Now, one of the other things you can do, and why I said there's a secret that lies in this book, is journaling. Most people look at me crazy when I'm like, no, you got to journal. And they're like, why? I'll tell you this. Being retrospective and understanding what did or didn't work is a key to make sure when you want direction, you know what didn't work last time so you don't make the same mistake again. Because what is the definition of insanity? Doing the same thing over and expecting a different result. And so with this thing, it really helps us look at this, figure out what didn't work and move forward from it, or what did work and repeat it. Now, within direction as well, it's all about saying no. Because if someone gives you something and you don't have that direction, just tell them no. Like that's one of the worst things developers are offenders of is not saying no and taking on all types of work and just piling on. Before you know it, you're buried, you're not productive, and you're overwhelmed. Sound familiar? Now, last but not least here in this one is I would recommend always, and I'm going to say this now, I'm also going to talk about this a little bit at the end, but always, before you start work, have the direction you're looking for and saying no if it's not there. The fourth and final thing, well, this is another great area that people go, focus. What do you mean focus? Which is this area. I'm like, yeah, focus. And like, okay, how do I focus? And I'll tell you, there's a couple easy ways. There's a main way I want to talk about at the end of this section. But first off, quit multitasking. We are not good multitaskers, never have been, never will be. No matter what you think, we're not good multitaskers. So just stop trying to multitask. Also, minimize disruptions. Your emails, your social media, your cell phone, your text messages. Minimize the distractions around you. Try some headphones. Try to find that playlist that's good for you. Find a quiet area. We need you to focus to get in personal productivity. Now, focusing can change a little bit for everyone. Some of the things I was just talking about are main concepts around for everyone to do. But you might focus different. So figure out how you focus best, and let's repeat that. Now, ultimately, in this section, this is the main part of this section, deep work. There's a great book by Cal Newport on there on deep work. And what I'm going to say to you is when we want to focus, always go into deep work, which means you block 2 to 3 hours of your day with no distractions, where you focus, you have direction, and you go to town on the work. No meetings, no nothing else, no one bothering you. Now, within deep work, I did a video on this with the sleep video that I was talking about last time before. We know because of that video and what we talked about in it, ideally you want to do deep work in the morning from 9 to 12. It's a really great time window for you to be productive and be mentally at 100% and creatively ready with lots of new memories from the night before in your head, ready to go. And I personally myself block off 9 to 12 every day of my life to do deep work, to work on specific tasks with direction so that I can be extremely productive and get my work done and out faster. Now, within these 4 areas, there's something I want to tell you, and that is there are 4 areas to work on for you to be more productive, but I always like to try to give you actionable items. So here are your actionable items out of this video, and that is for you to create rules today, rules to follow. Now, what are rules? Rules are habits, not necessarily routines. Habits are little to no conscious effort to do. Now, they take, everyone says, around 21 days potentially to get in place. There's lots of different crazy books and studies out there, but we'll go with the 21 days one for sure. So let's go with that. But point being, rules are habits. So we want little to no conscious effort. So they need to be to the point and easy. Now, I want to talk about these 4 areas for you to create rules today. Now, you can create more than what we're about to talk about, but it's key that you create rules in general. So I'm going to give you one in each section. So we're going to start with the time management section. Here's my rule I want you to take a look at today and see if it might help you out to be more productive. First is the 30-minute rule. I've done a video on this one as well, but the idea is this: when you have a bug, a problem, a task, you spend 30 minutes on it. If you are getting nowhere from the Google, Stack Overflow, all the different solutions you can do on your own right in front of you, in 30 minutes, you're not getting anywhere and you are completely lost. At that 30-minute rule, you stop what you're doing and you go to the next level of your debugging process. Now, that could mean your manager. That could mean a peer. That could mean someone in your network, someone on LinkedIn, someone on the open source review board of your favorite project, someone, one of the creators or something. Go to CodeMentor.io and purchase them for their time. Find a way, an avenue to get outside of your own head after 30 minutes and quit wasting time and go get a solution, or go help someone that can help you find the solution. That's absolutely crucial to not wasting time and being more productive. Another rule that I implement that I encourage you to is exercise 3 times a week. And if I don't, I have to double it the next week. So if I'm not exercising 3 times this week, I have to do 6 exercises next week. This is so I stay even keel throughout the week, and so that this stays on par with what I need to do, because exercising is extremely beneficial to staying at a very high productive level. In the third area, we talked about direction. My other rule is this: always have direction before I start. If I don't have direction, I won't start. End of story. I'll send it back. I won't do it. It just stays in the to-do list, and I let whoever created it. It's not happening. Fourth area, focus. My last rule for you tonight is only one task at a time. Nothing more, nothing less. Yes, in a deep work block, I can get 10 tasks done, but I will only focus on one at a time. Now, I don't do them in parallel unless, say, you're running tests and that takes 10 minutes, so you can leave this be for 10 minutes and you can come over to here for 10. But I am focusing solely on one thing at a time. And if something like testing deems I can take on something else and put something else out of my mind, I'll move over to that for 10 minutes. But I'll come right back to finish testing it before I finish anything else up on the side. Now, these are 4 rules for you to implement in your life that will help you be productive. Because ultimately, this video is about telling you that you need to create rules which are habits for you to be productive, and have this checklist of things you can do to make sure you're being productive, not only on a task-to-task basis, but on a daily basis. And these are some of the things that will help you. If you feel like you want help accelerating your coding career around maximizing your productivity, then sign up down below for the Coding Career Fastlane. It's a service I've built to help accelerate your career, whether you're a beginner or advanced. I help you and show you how to build a plan that'll help you join the Fastlane. If you have any comments or questions, feel free to leave them down below. Hit the subscribe, hit the like, and let me know if you have any questions. Reach out. Until next time, we'll see you guys later.